I get angry at the fact that like sometimes I'm not a rich white woman, not in the sense that I want to be a white woman, but I would like to be treated like one. Like I would love to be afforded the same care and softness and space for mistakes and error.
Oof. Yeah. Oh gosh, these questions. As a black woman, what are you tired of? Hearing, seeing, experiencing?
What am I tired of? I feel like it would be a shorter list to say what I'm not tired of, but
to start off, I'm just tired of the violence against black women or women in general.
I'm tired of us constantly having to fight for our existence when it's a guaranteed human right in the Constitution that we have the right to live, but unfortunately it's being disrespected by our counterparts.
I'm 100% over just this like the constant mocking of black women. I think our pain is always so much, like it's so entertaining and it's so funny to people.
So with me, you know, I'm vegetarian already. It's like, oh, she's vegetarian, you know, she's spiritual, or she's the chakra hand, you know, that term. And it's like, since when did like spirituality and diet have a race?
I am so tired of the idea that we have to work twice as hard just to get half of what our counterparts are getting, just to get noticed, just to get in the room, or to get the same opportunities as everyone else.
I'm tired of being catcalled every day. I'm tired of people not leaving me alone.
In as much as we have to slay every day, we also have to fight the patriarchy, the sexism, and also protect ourselves. We have to go through so much just to make sure that we get home on a day-to-day basis.
I'm also especially tired of like how much work we have to do to be beautiful. Like I think it's really messed up that like almost every black woman I know is basically a professional hairstylist. Like everyone knows how to lace wigs, they know how to do their own hair, they can do like crazy professional makeup, and they have to do this every day, not like purely out of the fun and the choice of it, but like people treat you better. And I'm just tired of how much work we have to do. Like I would like to just wake up and look the way I did when I woke up, and it's fine.
What is your opinion on stereotypes like strong, independent black women or angry black women? Do you identify or feel accurately represented by them? Independent black woman is a scam.
That's just a trap. Because it sounds like it sounds nice. It's one of those like benevolent cases of racism and sexism where like it feels like people are complimenting you and being so strong and independent, but like what is good about that? Like what's wrong with being weak? What's wrong with depending on other people? Like I think community is so important. I think having a support system is really important.
Personally, I find it to be amazing if you can get your own, do your own things, carry your own, take care of your own, without needing to rely on anyone else. And so that should be a feat in itself, right? Look at the fact that centuries ago women needed to rely on men, and now here we are doing our own thing. So why should we have to feel sorry about it?
I really feel that it is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, yes, we worked to get here and I got this. I absolutely love and identify with the strength and resilience of Imbokodo, you know, but at the same time, don't get it twisted, because if you strike me, I will cry. If you strike me, I will bleed. And unfortunately, more often than not in our country, if you strike me, I will die.
And the angry black woman narrative is something that just irritates me so much. Like it annoys me so much, because that isn't the only emotion black women experience, you know.
I feel that giving us that title, you need to ask yourself why we're angry, because we have every right to be angry.
This whole angry black woman is to silence women in general. If you have something that's upsetting you about the world, about yourself, about whatever, just showing that people want to paint you as angry or blah blah blah, it's a weird silencing tool.
I think more black women should be enraged. In fact, I think more black women should just be full of like the like heart-burning fire of like 1,000 suns. Like we have so many things to be angry about, and we should be rioting more, and we should be beating up more people.
And also, we are human beings. We experience the full spectrum of human emotion. As much as, yes, I can be angry, but I can also be so full of joy. You know, embrace the power in vulnerability.
We have other emotions. We can't just be ready to fight all the time. Sometimes, you know, we want to take care of ourselves, you know, and, you know, have a little me time and just break down a bit, you know.
What actually makes you angry?
What actually makes me angry? Bad communicators.
The fact that I don't get a girlfriend allowance. I think I need to actually have a conversation with my boyfriend about this.
Generally, I'm also just an angry person in general. I was just born that way. Yeah, Aries girl.
Personally, I'm angry at the fact that money leaves my account every time I buy something. What's up with that?
Every month, I see on the TL, girls are getting spoiled. Every month, they're getting e-wallets every month, and I don't get a girlfriend allowance. Come on, guys.
I get angry at the fact that like sometimes I'm not a rich white woman. Not in the sense that I want to be a white woman, but I would like to be treated like one. Like I would love to be afforded the same care and softness and space for mistakes and error.
I'm angry at colonialism. Ideally, we all want to be just sitting next to the river eating fruit and stuff. That's how Africa should have been anyway. They should have left us alone.
Bae, I know you're watching this, and I need you to understand the fact that I can sit on a public platform and put you on. I need you to give me a girlfriend allowance. I deserve much more than the love that you're giving me, which I really, really appreciate, but I deserve a girlfriend allowance. Yeah, I think that's what makes me angry, just on the top of my head.
When it comes to dating, do you feel like black women are viewed as less desirable than women of other races, and why?
Yes, and I don't think it's limited to just dating. I think society has this weird hierarchy where black women for some reason are at the bottom of the totem pole, even more so when you're a dark-skinned black woman.
I think as black women, they kind of feed us mediocre niggas and they think we need to take it. And what we're not gonna do is that.
It's always black women want too much, or black women are too fussy or too hard to keep up with, which is not the truth, especially from black men. These are the conversations I've been having with black men who would put black women last, you know. It's always other races before, and the main issue just being that black women, or most black women rather, stand up for themselves, you know, which is a cause for concern, because why wouldn't you want to be with someone who can stand up for themselves, you know?
Let me take it back to my single days. When I was on Tinder, and I felt that black women were very fetishized as a thing of like, oh, jungle fever, or black women have bigger booties than other women, so I'd only be with you because of that.
The desirability thing is always a push and give, because you're like, are they really into me? Is it a fetish thing? Are they trying to experience something through me? And then I'm just like a black girl, they tried out.
I used to date this white guy last year, and he was so like, it was so funny because when we started dating, he just had this idea that I was like super like sexually aggressive, and that these things I was gonna want and expect. And like every day he was always like, I bet you want this, I bet you want that. I'm like, who said that? Who said that? Who told you that? Because I never expressed that, but you've just decided that like, because I'm this black woman and I'm a darker skinned black woman at that like I must be this like sexually carnivorous creature.
And then again, you do see black women getting loved out loudly by men of other races. Like if you think about like Serena, black men had all the time with Serena and they did nothing with it. She was always the world champion of everything. Then comes this white man, scoops her up. Now everyone is like, ugh.
I don't know how many conversations I've had with black men who have the exact same skin tone as me, who idealize and say that they're only interested in, you know, either light skin or mixed race women. And I actually had a friend say to me that no, he only wants those mixed race babies with that curly hair, alluding to he will only date white women for that fact. And I found that very disturbing. But also like, I think it just speaks to how society undervalues black women, dark-skinned black women in particular, but also just how internalized racism is deeply embedded in the black community as well.
There's nothing wrong with having preferences, but it depends where it's rooted from. And also, you shouldn't say my preference is this race because this race can't do this.
Because actually I really think that black women are probably viewed as the most desirable in society, but everyone just can't, they can't reconcile that with the fact that they're also told at the same time that we're ugly and we're monstrous. So I think people really struggle with their attraction to black women.
And essentially we are objectified. We are objectified, and that's the reality of it. We are objectified and we're also exploited, because our cultures would be exploited when other races decide to use our fashion, our hairstyles, but they won't acknowledge the fact that we are being exploited and objectified.
In terms of representation in the media, what do you see and what would you like to see more of?
I think the most basic one is I would like to see more dark-skinned black women. I think we've reached our cap on how many light-skinned stories we can tell, and I'm really happy that the Zendayas and the Yara Shahidis of the world have gotten their stories out there. I'm glad we have mixed violence on Zenie and Georgia. You know, that's really important. I'm glad for that. I'm glad the biracials are getting their say.
I think there's been a lot of conversations happening where people come in and claim spaces for other vulnerable groups when you're not entirely sure what the intentionality is. So I would love to see more representation on the ground in terms of queer bodies creating their spaces for themselves and not relying on cis-het men to do it for them.
I would absolutely love to see more black women in the forefront, at the center of media across the board. Okay, I need us to be the leading ladies in films, but I need us to be writing and directing those films. I need us to be at the top of, you know, the people who have the power, you know, to give the green light of projects.
I'd really like to just see a variety. You know, black women have different personalities. Not everyone is loud, not everyone's outgoing, you know, and not everyone we don't all like the same thing. So for me, it's just to show black women in different aspects, different personalities.
Through shows like I May Destroy You and so forth, it looks at complexities of being a black woman. It's not just I'm a victim all the time and this happens to me, or A, B, and C. So I like that, but at the same time I want more upbeat black shows for black women too. Like, I'm not saying let's do a revamp of Girlfriends, because we all know Girlfriends was messy as hell and those were really bad friends. We'll talk about that another time.
Actually, no, more than anything, I would love to see more black lesbians. I feel like when we see sapphic love in like film and television, it's usually always white women. Or if it's an interracial couple, it's always one white person and a very light-skinned person. And I think I think more black women just need to know about, like, explore queerness or just see it on screen, because there's a different way I think you navigate being queer when you're a black woman, like whether you're trans or if you're bisexual or anything. And I don't think there's you get to see enough of that, and the way your dynamics in a romantic relationship are so different from heterosexuality or straightforward cis dating.
I would absolutely just love to see black women exist in all kinds of ways on screen, you know, defying genre. I want us to see us in sci-fi, in fantasy, in horror. I want us to be the villain. I want us to just to be a limitless thing, and for it to be so normalized.
So shows that are reflective of our dating lives, our corporate lives, our relationships with our friends also, and things in between and so forth.
And more positivity, black women do so much positively, and always these negative traits, you know. It's always this angry black woman narrative. So yeah, I just want to see positivity all around being portrayed to black women.
The biggest thing about representation isn't just about seeing yourself, it's about the idea of exposure. So the more people see dark-skinned women aren't all mean and sassy, then the more they're willing to accept that in their everyday lives. And I think that would be really nice.
And it's so important that along with our demand for representation, we actually show up and support that representation as well across the board. So in entertainment and media, in business, in science, in politics, in sport, we need to show up. And I mean, just a random example, I really don't know where this is coming from, but let's say you're watching a YouTube video about black women, by a black woman. Like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And most importantly, share. Yeah, so random. Don't know where that came from. Are you black first or are you a woman first?
What do you even mean?
I would love to just say that I was an Aries before anything.
I'm a woman first. I'm a woman first.
Unfortunately, I can't pick one in certain situations. So I can't say, let me be a woman now and remove my blackness.